friends. Welcome to the LeggLife Podcast. My name is Adam.
My name is Sherri.
Sherri Beth, what episode is this?
153.
And you may be able to tell, based on the road noise, that this is going to be a Roadtrip Ramblings podcast.
Yes, it is.
We've done lots of these. We've done them actually all around the country.
Yeah.
And it's become one of my favorite types of podcasts that we do.
Because I feel like it's very us. Like, it's just stream of consciousness, just talking.
So we have no topic.
Nope.
We have not, Sherri, keep me honest, we have not even discussed a topic.
We have not even discussed the topic.
And so basically,
I asked if we wanted to do a topic or if we just wanted to do like stream of consciousness, and he was like, "We'll just wing it." I'm like, "All right."
Well, we originally were, because we're recording this on Friday. Mm-hmm. The podcast goes up tomorrow morning.
Correct.
And so one of the thoughts was like, "Oh, maybe we'll just skip this week," but I don't like missing a week if we don't have to.
Yeah, and we have time. We've got a little bit of a drive ahead of us.
So we thought, you know what? Let's hit record, bring you fine people along with us. So here's where we're going to start, is where we're going and why.
Yeah.
So we're currently driving from Anchorage, Alaska, where we live, to Wasilla, which is 45 minutes-ish north of us. Mm-hmm. Because tonight and tomorrow morning and afternoon, me and my team are teaching a class. There's a workshop that we do called Engage.
Yep.
And we've taught it actually all over the country. And so we have like 40 people that have signed up. The class sold out like 3 weeks ago, which is crazy. And basically Engage is a faith-based training that helps you know how to walk with people who have experienced like severe trauma, brokenness. Think of the work that we do with survivors of trafficking, abuse, that kind of stuff.
Marginalization. Yeah,
marginalized people, because one of the things that we've realized is that a lot of times people have really good intentions, they have really good hearts, but then you sit down and you're with somebody and one of two things happens. Like, you feel like you have to try to fix them.
Yeah, right.
When actually the healthiest thing you can do is just be with them. Or like church people try to cover it in like Bible verses or encouragement or prayer, and those things aren't bad, but those things can actually be, I think, harmful, and I'll even use the word abusive in many situations.
Yeah.
And so it's just, how are you with people in relationship in a broken world? We've had thousands of people go through this training. Sherri, you've done it multiple times.
I've done it multiple times, yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
It's a very good training, and I think that it's shifting your thought process, because, I was raised with platitudes, and again, like, they're not all bad. Bible verses are not bad, but in some contexts, they can be very abusive, and they can be very harmful, and they can be very dismissive, I think. And so it's learning how to just be with people in their brokenness and share in that brokenness.
One of the kind of core stories that we built Engage out of is the story where Lazarus dies and Jesus is going kind of on his way, and Lazarus' sister basically comes to Jesus and says, like, if you would have been here earlier, you could have saved him, like, he's dead. And I'm intrigued by sorry, we hit a big bump. I'm intrigued by Jesus's response to her, because he doesn't say, like, where's your faith? Like,
calm down.
Don't you know that I can fix this? Like, like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, like, mount up on wings like eagles. Like, like, he doesn't scold her. He doesn't give her like these empty words. It says quite literally, Jesus wept. Yeah. And I'm so intrigued by that, because Jesus knew that he was going to go raise Lazarus. Like, this would be the greatest miracle Jesus ever did outside of his own resurrection. Mm-hmm. This was like the pinnacle of his earthly ministry. And he knew he was going to go save the day. He knew that Lazarus would live again. Yet he wept with his friend, and he
shared in her heartbreak.
And I think sometimes we have forgotten how to do that.
Yeah.
We think that we have to fix a situation with words that can never be fixed with words. and sometimes can only be fixed through our presence and tears.
Yeah.
And so Engage talks about, how do we do that? How do we engage with the brokenness of the world in a way that is actually healthy and brings healing? And so that's why we're going to Wasilla, teaching the class tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow night
I'm just tagging along.
Sherri's just tagging along. And then tomorrow night we're shifting gears hardcore.
Yeah.
There's a motorcycle club that supports our organization.
Obviously.
Some of our very favorite people. We love them and they love us, fortunately. And they are holding a fundraiser for us at a bar out in the Palmer-Wasilla area.
What is that fundraiser?
It's an arm wrestling contest.
Yes, it is.
It's called Thunder in the Valley. I think there's going to be lots of different motorcycle guys there, lots of people from the community. I think it's hilarious that we're going from, teaching people how do you engage with the brokenness of the world right into a dive bar with a motorcycle club in an arm wrestling contest. Like, that just feels so us, and I love it.
It is very chaotic and very us.
And we rented an Airbnb in Wasilla for us and my team, because the stuff we're teaching is heavy, and we finish up late tonight and we start early tomorrow morning, and having to do a drive each way.
Which we've done before,
but honestly, it just takes a real toll on us.
Yep.
So as a team, we rented an Airbnb. It's actually going to be fun when we get there tonight. We're going to do a little team dinner. We're making lasagna and Caesar salad together.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a little family dinner, and then head to the event. Sherri Beth, you're not coming to Engage this time.
Correct.
What are you going to do?
I am going to work a little bit. I have 2 jobs. I work for Princess, and then I also do the bookkeeping for the nonprofit that Adam leads. So I'm going to catch up on some of the bookkeeping and read some books and hang out at the Airbnb.
I was going to say, you're going to kind of use this weekend as just a little bit of a relaxing getaway.
Yeah.
Tomorrow because I think tomorrow we go from 9, so I'll have to be there at 8:30 until 3-ish. So you'll have most of tomorrow to just kind of...
most of the day. I'm going to try to get a little more work done tomorrow as well, and then just kind of hang out. So
that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So that's our weekend plan, and then Sunday we'll wake up and mosey back into Anchorage.
Yeah.
Next train of thought, Sherri, we missed 10 days on YouTube.
Yes, we did. My mom called me this morning. And again, it's Friday. She called and left me a voicemail because my phone was still silenced and I was still in bed at 8:29 this morning. Because I work from home on Fridays, and so I roll out of bed in time to make it out to my computer by 9.
Which is perfect.
Which is perfect. So I don't need to be out of bed. So I wasn't, and my phone was still silenced, and she called and left a voicemail at 8:29, concerned that we did not have yet another video up, and that it had been 10 days since we posted, and wanted to make sure we were okay. And I was laughing, and I called her back, and I told her, and I was like, if you had waited one more minute, we had a video up. So no, we've just been really busy, and I've been busy and exhausted, and you've been busy and exhausted and not even in town, and we just didn't really have it in us to vlog and upload, and so we didn't.
Yeah, so I had a video, it was the video we uploaded today on Friday, it was 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
But I just haven't had the energy to edit that, I haven't had the time to edit that.
Yeah.
Work has been nonstop. I mean, we've, 3 weeks ago I was in Fairbanks, 2 weeks ago I was in Juneau. This week I was, no, 2 weeks ago I was in Fairbanks. Last week I was in Juneau. This week I was in Sitka. Yeah. Now we're going to Wasilla.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's been running all over. And so I've just been feeling, there's only so much energy you have.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I have historically not been good at is I will try to give all of my energy to everything.
Yep.
And then I end up in this place of just utter exhaustion. And so I'm trying to be better about when I know I am running low on energy or in a season where my energy will be used a lot.
Yeah.
About being okay saying no to things. And so editing that one vlog was just something that I needed to say no to for like a week and a half.
Yep. Well, and you came back from Sitka with a cold, and so
I did.
like you just the whole first day you were home, you didn't even get out of bed, which I was actually very proud of you for. You slept in, and then you got up and got some food and went back to bed for another little bit, and you took a nap, and then got up and went back and took another nap, and it was just, you know, like I was actually very proud of you for allowing yourself to rest, because you really are not good at that. I
don't really rest well, and I just, going back to the energy thing, I feel like, you know, I knew I had engaged this weekend, and so it was one of those things where I said to myself, if I want to be able to give like the best of me to this weekend, like teaching, that meant that I need to like stay in bed.
Right,
like,
you
I needed
had
to rest.
to give yourself the rest that you needed.
And I'm so glad that I did, because I feel a ton better.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't feel sick at all. You guys might be able to hear a little bit in my voice. I still have some like sinus congestion hanging on, but I no longer feel sick, if that makes sense.
Yep. So I was very proud of you.
Thank you. I don't remember the last time that I like slept 10 hours and then spent...
And you took 2 naps.
I took 2 naps, and even when I wasn't napping, I was just laying in bed resting. I don't remember the last time I did that.
I know, you really just don't. I mean, even when you are very sick, like you tend to get up and you feel like you have to be doing something.
Yeah, so I'm glad that I didn't, or I'm glad that I didn't feel like I had to keep going.
Yep.
I will say, after this weekend, things for me work-wise slowed down a little bit. I don't have any more trips for about a month, which is nice. So I'll be home for a little while. Obviously, we are in the big final push for the coffee shop.
Yep.
There's actually a painting party going on today and tomorrow there. They're getting a bunch of the walls painted. Flooring got installed. Well, part of the flooring got done last week. The rest of the flooring's getting done next week. And then, like, the commercial kitchen stuff's getting installed on Monday, getting delivered and installed. And so progress is really being made, which is super exciting.
Yep.
It's feeling like it's becoming a reality. I was telling a friend earlier today that this is one of those things that has been in the dream stage for so long that moving it from a dream to watching it become real it's exciting, but it's also I'm almost like not wanting to believe it for fear of like, yeah, but what if it doesn't happen?
Right.
Because it was a dream for so long.
Right.
Yeah,
gosh. It's gonna happen.
It is gonna happen.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other updates on the coffee shop stuff, because I know a lot of you are interested in that.
Yeah.
We got our tea supplier. We're going to be carrying a local tea company here called Sipping Streams. We're going to have that carried in the coffee shop. So local coffee roaster, local tea company, just everything very purposeful. Our friend Spring, who owns, her and her husband own Woodlands and North Creative, just one of the, like, in my opinion, best creative brains in Alaska.
Yep.
She designed a wall in the coffee shop.
The purpose wall.
It is like our purpose wall. It's like our why wall.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
It's very cool. Yeah.
It's very cool. Yep. So, very excited about that. Sherri Beth, you ready to talk about Onyx Storm?
I knew you were going to ask about it.
All right, so.
No, I have not finished it yet.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about. You fly through books.
I usually fly through books.
And that's what I'm used to. I'm used to you just blazing through books.
I know. This one's been hard for me.
And it's confusing to me because this is the book that maybe the book that I saw you the most excited about in quite a while.
Correct.
Huge build up to this.
I know.
And yet you're struggling to make it through. I'm
struggling to make it through for a few reasons.
So what's going on?
Well, so for one thing, I have not read any spoilers. If there's ever anything that's like Onyx Storm at all, I skip right past it. So I don't know how it ends, but I can only assume that it's going to end on some kind of cliffhanger like Fourth Wing and Iron Flame did.
Makes sense.
And so there's a piece of me that doesn't want to get there. Because I know that the next book isn't out, and it's going to be torture for me to have to wait And so, like, there's a piece that's just, like, prolonging it. And also, I don't want to get to the end because I don't want to know how it ends. Does that make sense?
Well, yes, but here's the thing. Many people may not know this. You said the next book isn't out. But the thing is, she hasn't even started writing this
I know.
book. Like, a lot of rumors online are that this could be a 2027 book.
I know.
And so, it's not like you're waiting because it'll be out in the fall.
No.
This is years away.
I know. But I know. But then also, mentally, I have not really been in a state to read heavy grief. And there is kind of a lot of that. And so, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but, like, for people that have not read the series and maybe want to, but there are events that occur throughout the series, and the main character, Violet, is either not dealing with it at all or dealing with it sort of. And so, like, it just kind of keeps popping up, these events and these big griefs that she's dealing with.
Okay.
And I have just not been in a headspace to deal with grief. And I'm not there. And so I've been having a harder time reading it and getting through it because of all of that. I don't want to know how it ends because I know it's not going to be a great ending and we're going to need to wait. I'm not in a headspace to read about grief and it's been an issue for me.
It's not that you don't like the book. It's not that you don't like this.
Right. I love the book. I love the story. I love the characters. And it's not like I'm not reading at all. I'm like 81% through, according to my Goodreads. So like I'm almost done. Like I've made a lot of good progress. I'm just not done.
Now we're going to talk about something because of a sentence you said. You talked about kind of like feeling grief.
Yeah. I know where you're going.
Let's talk about it.
No.
How many months has it been?
7.
It's been 7 months since our Missy girl, our cat, died.
Ugh. I'm still crying about it.
Yeah, and you had a hard week this week with that.
I had a very hard week. For whatever reason, there was hormonal issues, but then, like, for whatever reason, it also just hit me so hard that she's gone, and it's so hard for me to accept that. I still keep expecting, when our floor creaks, we live in an old house, the walls creak, the floors creak for random reasons. We also just might be haunted, who knows, but like the floor creaks and I will turn around to say hi to our cat, who has been dead for 7 months. Like, she's not there. And so it hasn't really clicked in my brain yet that she's truly gone.
So one of the reasons I think this week was hard, some of you may know this, I think we talked about this on vlogs, years ago. One of the main reasons we got Missy was that it was a time when I was traveling a lot for work.
Yeah.
And it was when I was still in the hotel industry, and I was gone a lot. And Sherri just wanted something else in the house that was like alive with her.
Yeah.
And
that's not a plant.
It's not a plant, right?
Right. Something that can talk back to me.
Yep. And so I think one of the reasons it was so hard this week is that I've traveled each of the last 3 weeks.
I know.
Which felt very much like our life used to when we got Missy. And
I felt very lonely. And honestly, so we got Missy and you did not travel. And from the time we got our house to the time we got Missy, you actually didn't travel in any of that time. We got her like a month or two after we moved in.
Right.
And I don't remember why, but like for whatever reason you actually weren't traveling during that little bit of a time. And so it occurred to me when you traveled in January for the first time, that was the very first time I'd ever actually been alone in our house.
Because Missy was always there.
Because Missy had always been there. And so I had a real hard time with that trip. Thankfully, that was only one night. But yeah, maybe that is why that hadn't really occurred to me. But man, your Sitka trip, you were gone literally for 3 days. You left Sunday morning, you got back Tuesday night. And I had a really hard time with you being gone. Because I was alone. I was completely alone. And I didn't like it.
So, I know we talked about getting another cat.
Yeah.
Did your feelings on this trip make you want to expedite that process? Did it give you concern for that process? Like, how are you feeling about that?
Both and.
Okay.
I was talking to my mom about this morning. I feel like Missy was a unicorn, and she was a very special cat, and she was very affectionate, and most cats aren't. And I know that. We've had other cats in my life, and, you know, they're cats. Like, they do what they want, and it's, you know, they will snuggle when they want, and then they're done. And when they're done, they're done. And Missy was never done with snuggles. Like, she never.
That's true.
We had to be done with snuggles before she was, and we were like, but for real, like, I have to pee. I have to put you down. And, like, she was just always, and she would follow us from the room, and she met us at the door, and, you know, she was kind of more dog than cat, but all of the great qualities of a cat, where we could leave her all day long or over the weekend, and she was fine with a little extra food and water in her litter box. Like, it was, you know, she had all those great qualities of a cat, but also the qualities of a dog that you want, where they're snuggly and they want to sit on your lap and they want to be near you all the time.
It's hard to think how a cat could be more perfect than Missy was.
Right. And so I do want to get another cat, because I'm not really a dog person, and our house is not really set for dogs.
Yep.
And we live in a very cold place, not so much this year, but like usually, and I don't want to have to walk a dog twice or two or three times a day when it's, you know, minus 20. I don't want to do that. And we don't have a yard, so we would have to walk the dog. Anyway, so I want to get a cat, but I don't know. Like, I have fear that it's not going to be the same as Missy, and I know that's not a fair expectation to put on literally any other animal, because she was a unicorn, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I have fears, but then I also don't want to settle and be like, ugh, fine, we'll just get whatever cat. And, like, I don't know.
And for the rest of that cat's life, we're like, ugh, you're the worst.
Knowing that we settled for a cat that's less than.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the cat.
But I don't think that's what will happen.
I know.
And so I think, you know, we even went out a couple nights ago and just went around a couple pet stores that partner with local shelters, and just kind of look to see. It's like, all right, what are they, you know, what kind of cats are in right now? We're going to go to the shelter maybe next weekend or something. So we are still looking. You know, I think we definitely do still want a cat. With me being home for the next month or so, no huge trips planned in the near future.
Yeah.
We're probably approaching a good time to make that happen.
Yeah, up to now, we've just been busy. I mean, you've been gone a lot. I had a work trip, and I've been really busy with work, and both works. And, you know, it's just, we just haven't really had time to go get a cat. And then plus everything that goes along with that. You know, introducing a new cat to the household and all of that. There's, you know, it's a lot of work. So, we just haven't had the time or capacity to do that. But I feel like we kind of maybe do.
I feel like we maybe do. So, you know, one of the things that we've said is that we are going to, that we will know.
Yeah.
You know, we're not gonna settle. And so with Missy, we knew right away.
She chose us.
She chose us. She made it clear. And I think that this next cat will be the same situation. And so we're gonna find the right cat when the time is right. Hopefully it's soon. But I do think we probably won't settle. Like, if it doesn't feel right, we're not just going to get a cat to get a cat.
Yep, I agree.
So, that's kind of the big stuff going on with us. We are now in the town of Wasilla, Alaska.
Yeah.
Wasilla is a town that has been growing like crazy. I remember growing up, and Wasilla was just sort of a kind of like pass-through town. Like, there was not a lot of stuff here. But, I mean, now even just where we're stopped in traffic right now. But it's like there's a Red Robin, an IHOP, a Sportsman's Warehouse. There's a Target up here on the right.
Sonic.
Yeah, real fast-growing area of Alaska. Obviously made probably most famous by Sarah Palin, who lived here or lives here. She was the mayor here of Wasilla.
You cannot see Russia from Wasilla.
Cannot see Russia from Wasilla. Can confirm that. So there you go, guys. That was just a little bit of a road trip rambling update on us. We are 5 minutes away from our Airbnb.
Yeah.
My team is already there, and we're gonna go make some lasagna, make some Caesar salad, have a good night. I will say I'm anticipating being tired this the content we teach. I think because of just because what it's about can be really heavy.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people, they want to have some maybe harder conversations or heavier conversations. So I feel like I always end Engage weekend pretty exhausted.
Yep.
But this weekend's going to be different because then I have to go to an arm wrestling competition at a dive bar with a motorcycle club.
Correct.
I don't even know what to expect.
I don't either. I mean, it's going to be hilarious, and I don't know how long I'm going to be able to make it.
Yeah, I will say I'm probably there till the end. Sherri is most likely not there until the end.
I'm probably going to peace out fairly early. Yeah.
But you can say you went.
But I can say that I went.
Your bucket list of an arm wrestling competition.
Correct.
I think you should enter.
I don't think that would be awesome for me.
For your joints and all.
For my joints that pop out randomly by themselves. I don't feel like I need any pressure on them to force them out of their sockets. I don't feel like that's great.
Such a good point.
Probably not awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Friends.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for listening to us on another Road Trip Ramblings. What was this, episode 153?
Yeah.
Dang, 153.
I know.
And we will see you next week on the next LeggLife Podcast.
Yep.
Bye.